I have shin splints and they hurt really bad. But what's up guys? Yes, you saw the title. I have shin splints, and today I'm going to talk about why I think I have them and what I'm doing to get rid of them. Alright, let's go. I'm about to hop out of my truck so we can start the video, but I just made this thing down below that you're hopefully seeing on the screen now. If not, then it didn't work. But it should say subscribe and my Instagram, so make sure you subscribe and make sure you go follow me on Instagram. Alright, let's start the video. This week I haven't ran too crazy. I've kept it pretty easy. I'm trying to build a really good base so the rest of the summer I can really start running. But as you can see on the screen right now, I'm showing my 4 runs that I've done this week. They're not crazy, and part of the reason is because of my shin splints. Now, shin splints aren't fun for any of y'all that have had to deal with them. I've had to deal with them a couple times, and I'll tell you where they started in a second. I almost forgot to mention, today's crazy socks are ice cream cones. I can't tell if they're chocolate or vanilla, but they look good. Another hot day in Texas. Good. Alright, I'm at my favorite place to film. It's the baseball, soccer, pretty much everything fields. They have everything here. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but there's tons of soccer games going on over there. It's probably like 90 degrees outside. So for Texas, that's actually not that bad. But I want to talk about where my shin splints started and what I'm doing to prevent them as of right now. They started whenever I was a sophomore in high school. So I was probably about 5'6", 5'7" then. And within a year, I was 6'1". I'm currently 6'3" right now. But you can tell that's a really big jump within probably about a year. So when I first started getting shin splints, I didn't really know what they were. I just knew that my shins were hurting, and I kept running for a while, and that's what led to them getting pretty bad. I ended up going to the personal trainer and telling them my shins hurt, and they're like, okay, you probably have shin splints. And I was like, what is that? And so they explained it to me. And so basically what I remember them telling me is it's like little flakes of your bone, like where your shin is, are rubbing on like the inside of your skin. I know there's definitely a lot more complicated and medical term of how you would explain that, but that's kind of what I think of it as and how I remember it. And so they told me an acronym, and it's called RICE, R-I-C-E, and it's rest, ice, compression, and elevation. And I use this even whenever whenever I don't have shin splints. I use this for tons of things because it doesn't just help with shin splints. Those 4 things will help you get healed and prevent injuries for many things. Gotta sit down. If I can unlock it, hopefully. Trust me, I know how stuff works, I think. So my favorite thing to do is compression, and I've talked about it before in one of my videos, but I use these compression sleeves. Let me go get them. Oh, they're right here. I use compression sleeves, and basically you slip these on over your shin, so they'll kind of go like this, if you can see that, and they'll go over your shin. And I don't know exactly why they feel better, but they kind of keep your calf still while you're running, and they keep it from moving around, which can be painful when you have that bad of shin splints. I feel like these also prevent shin splints from getting worse. So I wear these pretty much every run whenever I do start feeling a little bit of a pain. I use ice every so often on my legs just to make them feel a little bit better. I don't feel like a super big difference when I do use ice. It's just kind of a temporary fix of what my legs are actually feeling. I like to not use ice because I feel like they kind of numb the pain, which is a good thing, but then it also gives you a distorted information of what your body is really feeling. And you want to know what your body's feeling, because if you don't, then you might be overtraining and doing too much because you don't really know what your body is like feeling and what pain it actually is experiencing. That was hard for me to spit all that out. I'm sorry about that, but I think you get what I'm saying. Now, elevation's kind of a tricky one for me. It's not my favorite one because whenever I do set my legs up like this, I feel like there's a lot of pressure on my knees. And even after putting stuff under my knees, I still feel like it kind of hurts my knees a little bit. I know there is benefits, but I do them in different ways. Sometimes I'll put them up on the wall, which is a little bit better, but I don't like sitting like that for more than 5 minutes. It still has good benefits, but it's definitely not my favorite. Now we're on to rest, which is definitely my favorite. Let me get a drink real quick. Rest is definitely my favorite because, I mean, who doesn't like to rest? Especially after a really hard workout. Having a really good resting session of either just laying in bed or pretty much doing nothing is always good. Now, I'm a very active person. I don't just run. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I go mountain biking, I go hiking, and all that type of stuff. So I'm very active. If I didn't have sunglasses on, I would not be able to see anything because that sun is literally like... But whenever I am not doing anything active, I'm pretty good about being relaxed, being chill, actually resting. I enjoy that. It's really good to go from an extreme of maybe running 10 miles to being able to just feel accomplished and resting on the couch. So I never really finished what I was talking about. The personal trainer told me the acronym RICE, and I've already explained that to you at this point. But I started using that really did help. And so every time I would feel just a little bit of pain in my shins, I would do one of those 4 things, or I do whatever I kind of want with those. They really would heal my shins faster and get me feeling closer to 100%. So yeah, guys, I have shin splints and they hurt really bad, but at this point it's not stopping me from running, and I'm definitely maintaining my fitness. I'm not slowing down, I'm not doing any of that type of stuff. And the way I like to look at it is an everyday car that gets you from point A to point B that isn't doing anything crazy isn't going to need as much maintenance as a high performance car that you're pushing to its limits. It's going to need more things to keep it running its smoothest. And that's what we're doing with our bodies as athletes, and pretty much anybody that's doing something physical. You're having to put more work in to keep your body healthy and running smooth. As we head back over here, I do like the mentality, like, keep pushing yourself, keep doing that, fight through the pain. And I get that, because I mean, as a person that is trying to better yourself, you are constantly having to push through the pain. Just make sure the pain is something that's good, not shin splints or an overuse injury. And there's no way of really knowing what our body is gonna feel like that day. You just kind of have to either push through it or really check out and make sure your body is healthy and running smooth. I know the sun looks crazy and I probably look crazy, but you know, it's all right. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, and if you really enjoyed this video, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Guys, I just got back in my truck, and I don't know if you can see this, but there's like a little spider web, and there's literally a spider inside of that web, and that's in my truck. And you know, spiders don't bother me too much, but like, not when they're in my truck. What?